Good afternoon, everybody. Let's get right to our headlines on this Tuesday afternoon. We are getting an update about that officer who was shot over the weekend in a standoff. We're going to bring you that in just a moment. Plus, qualifying has begun for midterm election candidates, and a local woman receives a special gift. Those stories and more on News 5 Now.
Brought to you by Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers. Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. News 5 Now starts right now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to News 5 Now. I'm Devin Walsh. So glad to be with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Just wrapped up WKRG News 5 at noon. What an interesting interview we had today at noon, something I didn't even know about. You have seen the Mardi Gras ship that comes to the Gulf Coast every single year. This year, it's going to be the USS Farragut. Well, there's a program sponsored by the Navy League where you can host a sailor, not at your house to spend the night, but just take them to a parade, take them to a restaurant, take them on a tour of the city. Last year, they had 160 soldiers who were hosted by different families for a couple of hours at a time, and it was just a great way for those soldiers to see our Southern hospitality. So I thought that was a great idea. You can always tour the Navy ship as well, but if you want to get them off the ship and let them have some fun, if you want to host a sailor, just go to the Navy League, and you will see their Navy League Council of Mobile on Facebook, and you'll see the contact information if you want to do that. So I just want to tell you about that really quickly because it was pretty interesting to know that you could do that. All right, let's go ahead and get to our big stories at this hour. Number 5, News 5 is your local election headquarters. Yesterday was the first day candidates could qualify with their parties for Alabama's May primary election. The Mobile Republican Party hosted a meet and greet at Grand Hall on Halls Mill Road. Candidates for U.S. Senate, Congress, Lieutenant Governor, Attorney General, and more were there. The candidates say the grassroots events are crucial to gaining support. Candidates have until January 23rd to qualify. The primary election day is May 19th. Number 4, a local community coming together to help one of its neighbors. Rebecca Bell, you see there in the maroon sweatshirt, she's struggled for diabetes for years, and she's going to have to undergo surgery this week to remove part of her leg. So that means she needs a better way to get in her house. So the Heart of Lake Forest, this is an organization in the Lake Forest community. They are building her a ramp. They got all of the supplies donated, and they're going to be building her a ramp so that she can get into her home. She says she is so grateful to people who have volunteered and donated supplies. Number 3, a suspect is now in custody for a gas station shooting on Christmas. Jared Williams is charged with reckless endangerment. He is accused of firing shots at the Raceway gas station in Creola on Christmas night. He is due in court for a bond hearing tomorrow. We are learning more today about a Mobile police detective charged with child sex abuse. Jacob Clifford will be in Bay Minette for his preliminary hearing. Should be happening any minute or early this afternoon. He was arrested in Baldwin County on child sex crimes dating back in December. He's pleaded not guilty to all these charges. Debbie Williams is in the courtroom waiting for this hearing. We'll have more later today on what may have happened. And number 1, the police chief giving us an update this afternoon about this Lieutenant Lorenzo Matthews, who was shot over the weekend in a standoff on Tuscaloosa Street. We are learning that after he was shot, he actually got back in his police vehicle and attempted to drive to the hospital. He did not make it all the way there, had to be picked up and taken to the hospital via an ambulance, but he did get back in his car. He was shot near his abdomen. He's undergone surgery, but he is expected to be okay. He's showing signs of improvement. Our own Kate Sherman spoke with the chief today, and she's going to be giving us an update more on the officer. She just walked in the newsroom, and I was talking to her and heard those details that the officer actually drove himself almost all the way to the hospital. And so we are so glad to hear that he is doing better, but he does have a road to recovery. So be sure to stay tuned to WKRG later today, and we'll bring you a full update on the officer. Okay. Everybody, it's time for our question of the day, and today we're talking about football. The college football playoffs are down to 4 teams. So who are you rooting for? We got Ole Miss. We've got, I wrote it down over here. I know we have Oregon, we have Indiana, we have Ole Miss, and we have Miami. So those are the 4 teams it's down to. Who are you rooting for? Let's see what you have to say. Ole Miss, Ole Miss. But Tom's saying that they don't have enough talented players to overcome Miami. Well, and Jonathan's saying he wants to see Ole Miss win the whole thing without Kiffin. So we'll see. Let's see, Ole Miss. Still a Bama fan. I'm pulling for Miami, says Calvister. Bama, I hope Ole Miss wins. Bama fan rooting for Ole Miss. That's interesting. Ole Miss. Alabama fan pulling for Ole Miss, Ole Miss, Ole Miss, Ole Miss. SEC, Ole Miss. So we got a lot of SEC fans out there who want to see an SEC team win it. Let's see. It warms my heart to see so many Ole Miss votes. Hotty toddy. All right, so we will see. Ole Miss is playing on Thursday, and so we'll see how it goes, right? We're following it. We're big football fans over here at WKRG. All right, now it's time for our poll of the day. And today we're asking you which holiday you care more about, Valentine's Day or Fat Tuesday. So, Valentine's, Fat Tuesday, or neither. So, I'm getting out my calendar here, and Fat Tuesday is the 17th of February. So, did you realize that Valentine's Day is on the weekend before Fat Tuesday? So you got the MOT parade, you've got the floral parade during the day. That's going to be a busy weekend for restaurants. So get your reservations now if you're going to go out with your sweetie on Valentine's Day, which is on a Saturday this year. It just happens to be like probably the busiest Saturday possible in Mobile. Parades all day long, lots of stuff happening. But who knows, maybe you could go to the parade with your sweetie and then go to dinner or go to lunch and the parade. There's a lot of things you could do. You can make it a Mardi Gras themed Valentine's Day. But if you want to answer our question of the day, you have until 5:30 tonight about football. You can find that question on WKRG's Facebook page or WKRG.com. You can also vote in that poll. And we're going to keep the poll and the question up until 5:30 tonight. That is when the next edition of News 5 Now airs. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me for News 5 Now. I'm Devin Walsh, and I'll see you back on TV for WKRG News 5 at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Covering news from your neighborhood and around the world. You are watching News 5 Now, brought to you by Green & Phillips Injury Lawyers.
In the courtroom, the judge knows best, and this judge does too. If you've been hurt in a wreck, you need a law firm that knows the system and how it works. I'm attorney David Green. Call or come by anytime. You never need an appointment.